Hello and welcome to Everyday Tarot, your daily dive into the divine wisdom of the tarot. I'm your host, Camille A. Saunders, healer, tarot enthusiast, and professional witch, and today I'm talking about tarot and Carnelian. Whether you're a seasoned tarot reader or just starting to explore, this podcast offers daily insights, intuitive messages, or practical advice drawn from the cards. Each episode is designed to help you connect with your inner wisdom, find clarity in your decisions, and tap into the energy of the universe. Tune in every day, Monday through Friday, for fresh perspectives and empowering guidance from the tarot as interpreted by me. If you love the show, the best way to support it for free is by listening daily, leaving a review, or subscribing or following in your favorite podcast app. I am offering a 12-week Tarot for Transformation course live starting at the end of September. Deep dive the first 12 of the major arcana cards with me as we embody archetypes, learn about how to transform ourselves through the tarot. Check out the full details at the link in the description. If you're interested in crafting your own tarot cards, you can go ahead and get my full workshop, including the hour-long recording with my step-by-step method, examples of the tarot cards I've created, journaling questions, and a PDF to walk you through it for just $33. The link is in the show notes to purchase that as well. I just updated my Patreon benefits to be bigger and better than ever, so if you want an individual card pulled for you once a month live on the podcast, join the Everyday Tarot Patreon family at the Lovers level. If you'd like to support the podcast even further, you can get a one-time individual 5-card reading in addition to all the other benefits if you join the Witch level on the Patreon. I recently did, last new moon, I did a collective tarot reading live for the new moon in Virgo on August 21st. You can catch the replay in the show notes as well. And today, as I'm recording this, is September 21st. And I will be having a collective tarot reading for the new moon in Libra coming up this week. I did have a schedule change. It's no longer going to be 3 p.m. on Tuesday. I need to look at my calendar. So keep your eyes out. I'll put the YouTube link in the description, or you can always join my newsletter where I make sure to send out that link as well, or you can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe there. I'm going to pull up the name of the channel real quick. I am just Camille A. Saunders on YouTube. So you can always go there to catch the replay. So that is there, and usually they're like an hour-long sessions where I do a collective tarot reading, talk about the new moon together, and then pull tarot cards for folks at the end. All right, if you're local, you can check out my Let's Talk Tarot meetup group. Come chat with other tarot enthusiasts, bring your favorite decks, and play with tarot and oracle decks all together. If you're interested in celebrating the full moon, I'll be holding a full moon women's circle for the rest of 2025. Join my colleague Izzy and I under the glow of the full moon for an evening of connection, reflection, and ritual. We'll be meeting at Thresholds Collective in Tacoma the first Sunday of the month to welcome in the full moon together. So the next one will be October 5th, and then we will have November 2nd and December 7th. And you can sign up for one or all of those right now. They're all listed already, and we're running it through Eventbrite. So that's where the link will take you. If you're interested in my free PDF with the 2025 5-card tarot spread I created just for you at the beginning of this year, you can get that by joining my newsletter list. My weekly newsletter always has the most up-to-date information on upcoming events, presentations, musings, and more. And if you don't already know, I'm a sex and relationships therapist and coach, seeing clients virtually all over from my home office. I love working with queer, poly, and witchy clients. So if you'd like to work with someone that doesn't judge you, is witchy just like you, and helps you learn how to deal with anxiety, chronic pain or illness, communication issues, self-advocacy, and sex, head to my website and book a free consultation now to start your journey. You can find the links for any of these offers in the show notes or on my website, CamilleASaunders.com/everydaytarot, in addition to the images of the cards I pull for each episode. All right, so welcome to season 15, where I'm talking all about tarot and crystals. If you haven't listened to my other seasons yet, you can check those out. Today I'm talking about Carnelian. So I'll go through the myth, the magic, and the meaning of the stone. I'll be referencing and reading a bit from the book Stones of the Goddess, 104 Crystals for the Divine Feminine by Nicholas Pearson. And then we will dive in and pull a card at the end of the session today to see what message Carnelian has for us. So let's get into carnelian and what it's all about. So, magical uses of carnelian are about the mysteries of life and death, empowering magic, protection, intuition, healing, action, courage, peace, and forgiveness. Its elemental signature is fire. The astrological signature is it's associated with the sun, the Mars, and Aries. The goddess archetypes it's associated with are mother, mistress of magic, and fierce goddess. And the formation process of the stone is igneous or sedimentary, so either one. So our carnelian is the name given to agate or chalcedony colored by the presence of iron oxide. And if you think about iron, right, when things rust, they turn sort of a brownish orange color, and that is where the color comes from in carnelian. Its name derives from the cornel cherry, further altered to resemble the Latin carnum, meaning flesh. It is usually orange or red, but many stones occur in shades of brown, yellow, and pink. Carnelian has a long tradition of magical use, and it has been employed for talismanic purposes for centuries. It is a common stone found worldwide, including in Brazil, India, Madagascar, the US, and Uruguay. In the ancient world, carnelian was prized for dissipating anger, assuaging fear, bolstering courage, and healing wounds. The people of ancient Egypt especially prized the stone, and to find qualities, carnelian was sometimes called the blood of Isis. The gemstone was held in high regard, and an entire chapter of the Egyptian Book of the Dead is dedicated to a carnelian amulet called tayet or tiet, which resembles a knot or buckle that held the Egyptians' traditional costume in place. Very interesting. This symbol, sometimes referred to as the buckle of Isis, as well as the blood of Isis, serves to protect its wearer by her blessings. The tayet was traditionally included with human remains after embalming, so it would assist the deceased on the journey through the underworld. On a recent trip to the Louvre in Paris, the author says they were struck by the beauty and light in several of the buckle-shaped amulets from Egypt. The carnelian was rich and nearly incandescent, appearing to be lit from within. And I have a small carnelian stone. And yeah, in the light, it is very interesting. You get all different kinds of yellows, and it's mostly orange looking, but in the light, then yeah, you get like clear yellow, some browner areas or streaks throughout. I can see the kind of like blood aspect of it as well. Mine has like some red, like, I was gonna say like tears or dots or streaks throughout it. Okay, so medieval lapidaries often prescribed carnelian as a remedy against injury, as it was believed to staunch the flow of blood. European texts from the 14th through the 16th centuries indicate that the carnelian could be used to diminish the monthly flux of menses in women. The belief that carnelian influences menstruation is most likely derived from the earlier myths of Isis's blood. Carnelian may not actually reduce menses, but its dynamic link to the archetypal mother through Isis means that the stone can help a woman step into her power during her menstrual cycle. It can also help reduce pain and bloating, as well as help a woman embrace the mysteries of her body's rhythms. The blood of Isis stone comes from the Red Sea in Egypt. Crystal healer Judy Hall writes of her experience with the stone, saying, "The goddess Isis was both a powerful priestess with power over life and death, and the archetypal devoted wife and mother. Each year, in her honor, a great mystery was enacted in the temples, that of birth, death, and regeneration. Meditating or sleeping with the stone under your pillow invokes a profound connection to the universal feminine and the goddess within, and also helps remove the veils of Isis to reach spiritual clarity and true sight." In this way, carnelian helps to sort through the repressed memories, experiences of pain, and negative beliefs that prevent us from living the truth of our divine heritage. We are all children of the goddess, born of her life-giving magic. Isis was a powerful magician. Her magic was so powerful it could revive the dead and subvert natural laws. Carnelian lends Isis's strength and vitality to her own magical workings. It can support spells and rituals of virtually any type, although it is especially effective for protection, healing, and regeneration. Carnelian's energy revitalizes your entire being, body, mind, and spirit, just like Isis's magic restored Osiris to life. It also fosters forgiveness, just as Isis forgave her brother Set for dismembering Osiris. Use Carnelian for rituals or meditations on the mysteries of life, death, and rebirth. It can help you master states of fear and uncertainty, as well as provide relief during stages of transition. This gem can foster empathy and alleviate grief, especially after the passing of a loved one. Carnelian is also a potent tool for finding inner and outer strength, as well as for taking action, a result of the Martian correspondence of the color that colors this gem, or the iron that colors the gem, right, which is associated with Mars as well. Carnelian is a versatile gemstone that will enrich your life in a myriad of ways. So yeah, and thinking about the properties associated with it, life and death, magic, protection, intuition, healing, action, courage, peace, and forgiveness. And the signature of fire, right, being associated with Mars and Aries, but also the sort of like mother archetype. It's very interesting because it feels very like holistic in a lot of ways. I love like the colors of carnelian. It does have this kind of like fiery energy to it, I would say, but also like in the way that a ring of fire would be protecting or like even like purifying, like or like right burning something totally to ash. With Isis, right, also associated with mother. So if you don't know about the goddess Isis, she is an Egyptian god. So in thinking about tarot cards associated with this stone, I thought of, I know in the Goddess of Love tarot deck by Gabriella Herstick, she has Isis in one of her cards, and I couldn't remember which one, but I immediately pulled it from the deck. I looked at one other card, and then I found it. So it's the High Priestess associated with Isis and planetary correspondence of the moon. So Isis is the most revered goddess of ancient Egypt, who used magic to bring her husband Osiris back from the dead, making love to him to usher in a new eon of peace, prosperity through the birth of their magical child Horus. Isis is a prismatic goddess, ruling over necromancy as well as love, family, the earth, and magic. Her multifaceted nature reflects the shadowy and light sides of the moon. The High Priestess and Isis share the initiatory knowledge of sex magic and how it can usher you into new ways of being, into new dimensions, into new selves, tracing the lineage of the ancient temple priestesses who worked with sexual ritual to channel the goddess. So also when we think about the High Priestess, we think about how she is a mirror to your magic and inner knowing. She parts the veil to the occult mysteries and is sharing this with you now. And that is all what this card is about. So I thought it was very interesting because as I'm recording this, we are in the autumn equinox or the fall on September 21st or 22nd. Astrologically, so we're in transition, right? We are in between seasons. We are in this like balancing state, which is associated with Libra, which we are entering with this new moon tomorrow for me in Libra, which is all about balance. If you know, Libra's zodiac depiction, like sign, is of the scales of justice, so literally balance. I also think about, right, that the High Priestess is parting the veil to the occult mysteries and sharing this with you. We are entering, again, from the autumnal equinox until the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. We are entering into the season of fall, like of things releasing, of, right, leaves literally falling. Things are kind of going into hibernation. Trees and plants are letting go of their leaves so that they can focus in their roots and keeping all of their energy in their roots for winter, and then they will, right, kind of come back out in spring. So there's this very like we're grounding into ourselves, into the dirt, into the underworld, right, our own personal underworld of roots. Also our own kind of like shadow side we are entering. in this season right now. In about a month, we will enter into Samhain, which is right when the veil is very thin, around Halloween or Day of the Dead, or again, kind of the pagan holiday of Samhain was when we commune with ancestors, when we think about also more transitions, right? I just feel like all of this is coming together. And right, carnelian also matches the colors of a lot of falling leaves. We have the yellow, the oranges, the darker reds, and kind of the like burnt orange or blood colors in the stone as well. Yeah, so other tarot cards I thought of were the Chariot, because we do have this sort of like fiery energy of carnelian, and also just like courage, I think of with the Chariot. And also the Chariot often depicts a lot of carnelian colors of reds and oranges, moving quickly, things like that. And the other one I thought of, at least in the Goddess of Love tarot deck, was Judgment. Something about the imagery is very similar again to carnelian. Sorry, I heard birds outside. I'm trying to look in the book to see who it depicts here. Judgment. Where is Judgment? There we go. So Judgment here depicts, so it's correspond with fire and spirit. So again, we have the fieriness in this card. There's sort of like a ruby or garnet on the card, as well as rose quartz, which I talked about in last episode, but also like literal red roses. We also have flames of orange behind this card, and it's also just kind of this like fiery card in this particular deck. Judgment is the initiation that comes from the flesh, the rebirth that happens after releasing old beliefs around different things like sexuality that might be rooted in guilt and shame. So I feel like, again, that's very much what carnelian is about and this season is about, is letting go of old beliefs around different things that might be rooted in guilt and shame, and welcoming in new things. And right, the power of creativity that we associate with fire and the wands in tarot, to find new things. You might have ideas sparking as we like let go of things that may have been kind of bogging us down. So, all right, so let's dive in and see what message carnelian has for us today. I'm going to pull from the Norse Goddess Rune Oracle, my newest deck here that I'm still getting to know. This deck is very red and gold, so it also seems to go along well with the carnelian colors. All right, I'm gonna give it a quick shuffle here. So what message does carnelian have for us as we think about transitions, the letting go of different things, releasing, finding new habits and rituals, ushering in new things for us, but also letting go of things that were holding us back or keeping us down. All right. Okay, I pulled number 29, Berkana Merkstav, and the rune of Eli, all about crone, stagnation, and lack of growth. Interesting. And actually this card is also very carnelian colored. We see these sort of reds and pinks and oranges behind the character of the Berkana Merkstav. 29. So she says, I am Eli, goddess and crone. I am old age, many years I have grown. You cannot escape me, yet wisdom you hold. May Berkana Merkstav guide you as you grow old. So Eli is the giantess who is the embodiment of old age. Eli is a wise crone who defeats Por in a wrestling match in the hall of the giant Utagaroga Loki. Eli, the goddess of elderly wisdom, whom none can wish to defeat in their lifetime. So in the Galphagenin, we learn of the wrestling match between the mighty god Por and the elderly woman Ellie, who was nurse to the giant Utagaroa Loki. To prove his strength, Por agrees to wrestle the old lady stricken in years before all the giants in the hall. Despite her frail appearance, Por is unable to defeat her, finding himself beat down to his knee. His feat was impressive, for none could fight off old age as he attempted to do, yet her power was absolute. Ion's apples of longevity can only sustain youth for so long. Here they lie withered on the table, so we see that depicted in the image, as the inevitability of old age can no longer be overcome. Ellie comes for us all. Ellie is the crone, the personification of old age. She cannot be defeated, for even the goddesses and gods cannot live forever. Ellie no longer holds within her the power of creation and childbirth, as her mother years are spent. Ellie holds within her the wisdom of many years of lived experience, as her crone years are upon her. She is fearless, wise, strong, and undefeated. She is the elder, the matriarch. The crone her faces her twilight years with dignity. So Berkana Merkstoff is the rune of stilted growth. It represents a period of stagnation, in an inability or unwillingness to grow and move forwards. It may represent a blockage in your development, a struggle that's affecting your ability to heal and regenerate. Perhaps this is the end of a cycle for you. The reversed rune can hold within its power the acknowledge to the growing journey you have been on and appreciate all that you have accomplished. Explore ways to bring growth back into your life, to remove the stagnation and be reborn in the most authentic version of you. Berkana Merkstoff can represent female fertility issues or complications relating to health and well-being. Pay particular attention to what this looks like for you and spend time overcoming any unwellness. As Berkana brings in growth, fertility, birth, and rebirth, its Merkstoff is the end of this growth period where we will call upon the wisdom that we have gained and use this to face and accept that which we cannot change. It may also allude to the changes of menopause for women who are preparing to enter the crone years of their life. Step into this transition with courage, for the more you resist the changes, the more painful it will be. Berkana Merkstoff may also signify potential issues with a mother figure in your life or in your own role as a nurturer. Reflect on this relationship with yourself and others and adopt a caring viewpoint. Recognize your importance in this world. There is only one of you, and you are precious. Be kind to yourself and view yourself and others as valuable humans who have much to offer this world. Acknowledge the power of the wise crone within. So I think this is the perfect message for this literal season of time, right? We are entering into the sort of crone stage of the year where we're using the wisdom, right? Nature is sort of retreating in a way, right? Kind of hunkering down and using its energy from the rest of the year in order to persist, to thrive through the colder, darker time of year, and releasing what it doesn't need to hold on to anymore, right? Leaves, flowers, fruit all take a lot of energy to create, and so by dropping those things, right, deciduous trees, even annual or perennial plants lose a lot of their color and leaf in winter because it would take too much energy for them to continue to do all of that during winter, and they might die. So instead, right, of dying or choosing to, right, be like an annual plant and have to replant it the following year or come back from seed, right? Berkana Merkstoff is letting us know that, right, we have to let go of the things that aren't serving us anymore, and we are finding the new things are the things that are the most important to us, right? And holding on to those as we enter our own kind of like winter season, right? And in winter, it's also very important to continue to care for yourself, to nurture yourself, to get a lot of sleep and, right, do a little bit of getting outside and movement, but also like it's a very natural time to reflect on what we wanted from the year, our relationship with self and others, right? We often do a lot of literal physical retreating into our homes more in the colder season, and thinking about, right, what do we want to bring into a new year, or into what energy, right, do we want to cultivate for next spring, so that we can kind of bloom all throughout spring and summer, and then as we enter fall, release again. So, right, this card is telling us to release the things that aren't serving us, let it go. It's okay if you thought that it would be the thing that you were going to do it for longer, or if you put out an offer or something that didn't come to fruition, right now is not the time to like continue pushing with that. It's the time to release it and, right, retreat, reflect, collect data, right, review everything, and then again kind of think about, okay, how do you want to start again in the future? But we have to have that period of reflection and rest in order for kind of like our creativity to bloom again. So, all right, so that is the message from the cards today. Thank you, Carnelian. If you'd like to join me on the journey of using the tarot for transformation, the link is in the show notes to get more details about that. We'll be working together for 12 weeks of calls and journaling to discover what happens when we want to transform our lives through the tarot. Links for the tarot decks will always be in the show notes and on my website if you'd like to look at them or purchase them. And thanks for joining me today on Everyday Tarot. Just as a reminder, the podcast comes out daily, Monday through Friday, for all of 2025. You can email me, me@CamilleASaunders.com, with your thoughts, questions, and more. All right, see you soon. Bye-bye.